Hey there guys, I am SonicGhost, and on this day, 12 years ago, I uploaded my very first Let's Play here on the YouTube channel. So you know what that means. It is yet another anniversary here, and it's time for us to reflect back on this previous year of content here on YouTube, but it's also time for us to take a look at what's going to be happening in the future. So this one's going to be an interesting anniversary video for this reason, because I'm also going to be using this time to update people about what's been going on, because I haven't posted a video here on the channel in months. So you guys are getting a threefold in this one: a look back, a look into the future, and also a little bit of an update behind the scenes. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into things here by taking a look at our previous content uploaded in 2022. So the first project that started things off in 22 was Let's Play Sonic Adventure 2. This went up right after last year's anniversary, right around February 14th, and this was a series I was wanting to cover for a very long time. Sonic Adventure 2 was a project in the work for many years, and in fact, some behind the scenes with this. I started to record footage for this playthrough all the way back in 2020, and the series didn't launch until 2 years later. So I was working on Sonic Adventure 2 for a very long time, and I want to make sure I did things right for the series, make sure I went through, did all my research for a lot of different things about the game, for like the scoring system or changes made between things with different builds, so I had stuff to talk about while we were playing. There's a bunch of stuff in general, and I'm glad I was finally able to cover this game because it's been many years since Sonic Adventure 1 was shown on this channel. So a near 10-year gap as Sonic Adventure 1 was a playthrough I did back in 2013. It was about time I finally got to its sequel, Sonic Adventure 2, and I thought that this was probably the series I put the most work into, and by extension was probably the best series I put out last year, bar none. So check it out if you haven't already. Sonic Adventure 2 was a fun time, and it's a great watch if you haven't already seen it. But now, to go on to our next playthrough, I was now jumping into a series that I have not covered at all on the channel before, and this was Shantae on the Game Boy Color, which actually really worked out in my favor by the time I was covering Shantae here on this channel, as in 2022, Shantae went through its own anniversary, but specifically, it was turning 20 years old in 2022, so it was its 20th anniversary, and I was covering Shantae around the time of that anniversary. By the time the Let's Play series ended, that anniversary was happening, so it just worked out in my favor that I was covering this game at the perfect time, and that was not planned. That just happened to be a thing that was happening when I was uploading this series, so it was a really good time for that. But I was wanting to cover Shantae on this channel for a very long time, but I was waiting until a modern re-release, as Shantae is one of the hardest games to find on the Game Boy Color, so it's not the easiest to add to your collection, and I was wanting to have a physical copy of the game to show those differences between playing Shantae on Game Boy Color hardware to then Game Boy Advance hardware, as the game does play different depending on what system you plug it into. So I was waiting until modern re-releases and then maybe a physical reprinting of the cartridge, and thankfully that all happened in 2021, so I was able to finally take a look at this game, and I'm glad I was able to because Shantae is one of my favorite indie series out there. It's one of my favorite Metroidvania-styled games, so I'm glad I was finally able to cover it for the channel, especially around the time of its 20th anniversary, so check that series out if you haven't already. But then to move ahead, right after Shantae was done, then I took a look at yet another game I was wanting to cover on this channel for a very long time, Super Mario Sunshine. 2022, as you're noticing right now with this pattern, this was the year of me taking a look at series of games that I was planning on covering for a very long time, but for one reason or another, I couldn't get around to them, or something else changed in the pipeline, so I had to put the project on hold, and Super Mario Sunshine was yet another one of these instances. As I was recording this game years ago, and I was wanting to post it for a summer release, but then the Switch release was announced for this game via the Super Mario 3D All-Stars Collection, and I was wanting to wait for a more modern release of the game just to take a look at something that's easier for people to get a hold of, even though the 3D All-Stars Collection is no more. it's still easier to track down a physical copy of that game than the GameCube disc copy of Super Mario Sunshine. So waiting for this kind of release, it really worked out, and then I was able to record it in higher quality. I was able to post it during the summertime, which Super Mario Sunshine is that perfect summer vacation kind of game. It's themed around that season, so it worked out. I was finally able to cover this game for the channel. I thought it was structured really well, because one of the biggest hurdles for a game like this is collecting those more monotonous things like the blue coins or the 100 coins, but I found a way to cover things for the game in such a streamlined way that we were able to keep things interesting no matter what kind of a mission we were doing. So glad I was finally able to cover this game for the channel. Check that one out if you haven't already. But now for the final game of 2022. This one is still going on right now on the channel. Let's Play Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion. This was a piece of DLC I was wanting to take a look at for a very long time for Splatoon 2, but I was waiting for the right time to go back and take a look at Octo Expansion here, and it just so happens that with Splatoon 3's launch right around the window at this point, 2022 was the right time to go back and take a look at this piece of DLC for Splatoon 2. So, as Splatoon 3 released on September 9th, this is when we started up Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion. And this is a pretty big thing of DLC that's still actively going on here on the YouTube channel because of just how much bigger of a campaign mode this is compared to the main campaign of Octo Canyon that was included in Splatoon 2 at launch. So this is a playthrough that I was wanting to cover for a very long time. I was a little worried about how it's structured because of the multitudes of different weapons you can use per test chamber that frankly don't really matter to use. It's just more of a personal preference, but I still want to be able to show off every way to play these tests so that people would know if they play a weapon with like this test chamber, how difficult it would be to play like a rapid blaster compared to like a roller weapon, for example. So I think the structure of this playthrough has worked out really well so far, and it is a thing that I'm wanting to get back to, as this is where we transition into our next topic here for this video, and that is talking about what's going to be happening for the future and what's been going on behind the scenes. So let me start off with that part first, what's been going on behind the scenes as to why this playthrough, along with pretty much any other video idea I've had, or even live streams over my Twitch channel, have been on hold for the past couple of months. So to rewind here all the way back to the end of September of 2022, I was hit with a pretty devastating hurricane. Hurricane Ian made landfall onto the coastline here of Florida, and where I live, it definitely did a lot of damage. And since then, a lot of things in general has just been more or less either really difficult or just impossible. And one of the biggest factors on that front have been a lot of repairs that need to be done around the area here, or even for our own home, because we got hit pretty hard and there's been a lot of things to take care of. The internet situation was bad because for multiple weeks we didn't have internet at all, and then when we got back, for months it was very unstable to a point where you could barely use it, and you would have to revert to using your phone, which is part 3 of this problem, where even phone connections would go in and out all the time, and even the cell phone connection was very unreliable because of this. So add up all these different factors, and it was just impossible for me to continue essentially anything content creation wise after this point in time. So I just took a big step back at the end of October as I tried to get back into things once services were starting to come back up around mid-October, but I was not able to keep up with things because, just frankly put, it was impossible for me to do between internet issues or just other issues in general around us, just putting me in a bad mindset, to be frank here. It was not a good time for me to be doing anything when it came to my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, the collab channel part of the Elpier League. None of that. I just took a huge step back and focused on what needed to be done at the time, and then focus on my own mental health. So I essentially been on break since October, and just maybe once in a while attempting to do a stream on my Twitch channel, and even that was still a roller coaster if it was either happening or not during that time. So this is why I've been away for so long. There's a bunch of different factors that all just compiled together at once, just demotivating me from really working on anything, which is sad because I'm in the middle of Auto Expansion. We're not even halfway through the series yet, and I want to get back to doing it, but at the time, it was not possible. But that's the key word, at the time, because I am proud to announce in this video here, we are going to be resuming Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, and that's starting tomorrow, on Monday, February 6th. Octo Expansion will be resuming, as at this point in time, I am working ahead on those videos, and in terms of the recording and editing process for the series, it is all complete. So now I am working on getting those videos uploaded here to the YouTube channel and getting all of the extra data done with that, with like the metadata, like your descriptions and tags, getting it all scheduled out. So that is what I'm working on now. So thankfully, I'm able to resume that series after a very long hiatus because I've been wanting to get back to Auto Expansion for a very long time. As much as I've been enjoying working on that playthrough, with all the events that happened in the middle of it, I also want to be able to finish the project so we can move on to new ones, because honestly, this should have been done in December. Here it is in February, and we're not even halfway through it, and I do apologize for this, but we will be resuming that series tomorrow. So I hope people are looking forward to the return of Octo Expansion, and at this point, it should be continuing on until the series is fully complete with bonus episodes included. There should not be another pause in the middle of this series. And that is my goal at this point, because now I want to get back into doing things proper. Because I'm also going to be returning to live streaming over my Twitch channel starting this week as well. So starting on Tuesday, February 7th, I'll resume my normal schedule of Twitch streams. So if you're unfamiliar with those, I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time over on twitch.tv/SonicGhost64. And before I took a break, we were playing through Freedom Planet 2. We were in the middle of Carol's playthrough in the game, and then I had to take a break because of everything going on after September of 22. So we will be resuming that playthrough and then starting new projects going forward as well on the Thursday slot. So that is coming back, and I'm glad to be able to come back to streaming. I did a test run of it in the past week here, and it worked out really well between being able to just actually do the stream on a technical level, but then also for my sake, it felt good to be able to stream again. I was starting to get back into the hang of doing the commentary for it, interacting with the chat, handling things when it came to running the show. Like, I was starting to ease my way back into that concept, and it worked out really well. So I am wanting to resume the streaming front this week as well. And I have one more thing I want to go ahead and announce here, as I was also working on one more video before coming back here for working on Octo Expansion and then resuming streams and all that. And that was an unboxing video of the Splatoon 3 amiibo, as I've owned these now for a couple months, but I haven't been able to do anything with these said figures because I was wanting to make some kind of a video covering these new amiibo for Splatoon 3, but one thing led to another, didn't really happen, and that video just got pushed and pushed. But I did get to work on that a few weeks ago. So I'm going to be releasing that later today. So come back here to the YouTube channel at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and there'll be an unboxing video of those Splatoon 3 amiibo for Splatoon 3 on the Nintendo Switch. We don't just unbox those said figures, we also take a look at what those figures do in Splatoon 3 as I scan them into the game for the first time, giving my first impressions on some of the stuff that they do in the said game. So that's everything I wanted to go ahead and talk about in this video. The big takeaways here is really 2022 was a very weird year for me, as the beginning half of it was really good. We had a lot of strong projects here on the YouTube channel. I was going strong with live streams, taking over a new format with face cam, and just having a more interactable sense for my streams, launching the stream archive channel so that way the main YouTube channel and the live streams with Twitch, they weren't merged together all the time anymore. They were their own separate entities, which really helped the main channel over time. So I was doing a lot of stuff in the first half of 2022, and a lot of that stuff was really working out. It was a really good beginning of the year. But then the later half of 2022, that's when things started to fall apart. I'm not going to sugarcoat that one. The later half of the year was really bad. Probably one of the worst years I've had in a very, very long time. Maybe one of the worst years I've had in my life as a whole. Just, there's so many problems at the later half of 2022, and that did not help things in terms of both a production level and then a mental state level. It was a lot. So it was a very weird year, but I'm wanting to now get back to the swing of things here in the beginning of 2023. And there are more projects that I have lined up here for this channel that I'm wanting to get around to, and I hope you guys are going to be looking forward to. But I gotta finish what's currently started, which is Auto Expansion. So we'll be resuming that, working our way through all that DLC. And some of the best parts about that playthrough are coming up very soon. So I'm glad to be able to finally get back to that series and share it with you guys. And I'm looking forward to it. So with that said, I guess I'll see you guys back here later on this channel if you come by to watch that unboxing video in question. If not, see you guys back here for the beginning part, or the resuming part of Let's Play Splatoon 2 Auto Expansion tomorrow. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being patient with me this whole time, as being away from making videos for a couple months is never really a good thing for a YouTube channel, because that's when your views, they go down. A lot of people kind of forget you're a thing and maybe unsubscribe. But I've had a lot of people still go back and watch the older content when I was gone. I've been reading a lot of the comments of people leaving on these videos. A lot of it's very positive, and I appreciate everyone who's been sticking around this whole time and showing the support, because that means a lot. So I'm glad to be able to resume content starting this week, and I hope you guys are looking forward to things to come. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.